Hey, how you guys doing? This is Dan with Mad Nasty Trapping. Uh, just coming up with a follow-up video to the first one I did tonight, and just give you a little bit of information on what went down tonight. Again, it's late right now. It's pushing about 1:30 in the morning. I just got back from running my trap lines, and outside right now it's probably I'd say if I were to venture to guess, it would probably be around 40 degrees outside, and yeah, 40 degrees. We had a little bit of rain this evening, and the fog is really, really setting in. You can still see my breath. It might be a little bit colder than 40, but um, yeah, the fog is setting in, and I'm not lying when I say that you can only probably see 10 to 15 feet in front of you with how thick that fog is out there, and yeah, so I went out and checked my trap lines tonight, and I had high hopes, and it's a good thing I did because man, the critters are moving tonight. Um, Now, there's a couple things that happened on the line tonight that I want to go over. Okay, first off, before I show you the catch that I got tonight, um, first things first, my video that I have on Michigan legal Conibear bucket sets. Okay, my instructional on how to build these bucket sets. Um, After tonight, I have found that there is one flaw that I want to bring to your guys' attention in the bucket sets that I built. And I'm still got to work out a solution for it, okay? When you get the bucket, and you get the back of the bucket right here, and you got your Conibear right here, okay? And you put your bait on the back of the bucket. The way that I had it set, running sardines in the back of the bucket, is the pull tab on the sardines I attach to the back of the bucket like that, okay? Now, when the raccoons come up to that set, and I'm almost 100% sure, very close to 100% sure that those are raccoons hitting my sets tonight. Um, you got the sardines right here, okay, in the back of the bucket, and the bucket coming out this way, right? I had a couple of false sets where there was no catch, the traps were set, and I got to thinking, and it's frustrating because I didn't get those critters, and there was a handful of them. I'm talking there were 4 or 5 sets that were false set tonight, and I got to thinking that the first one I was like, somebody could be messing with me. Somebody could have set it off, was mad that it was out there, whatever. But when you got 4, 5, 6 sets that I checked tonight, and they're all the same way, I got to thinking, what am I doing wrong? Okay. Nobody's 100% perfect in this game. Everybody's learning and stuff, and that includes me as well. So this is what I got to thinking. Okay, back of the bucket, sardines attached by the tab to the back of the bucket. Then you got your Conibear trap right there, and the opening to the bucket about right there. Okay, now these raccoons, I'm thinking that they are reaching through the bucket with their hands because they're one of the only animals that can, have opposable appendages. They can grab, they can reach and grab. So I think they're reaching through that Conibear bucket set rather than going and getting their head caught in there like they should be. Instead of getting their head through there, going and biting it and having it go down on their head. What I believe to be the problem here is I believe that they're reaching through, they're grabbing that sardine can with their paw. So they're reaching their paw through the trap, they're grabbing that sardine can, they're grabbing it, grabbing it, grabbing it, grabbing it. They're missing the prongs they're missing the prongs that are on that trap. And in the process of grabbing that sardine can, they're hitting the prong, they pull the sardine can back, and that trap comes down on the sardine can, allowing them to pull back out. So that sardine can's actually doing one of these numbers, coming through and getting caught in that trap when the trap closes. So it's frustrating. I've got to find a way to better attach that sardine can to the back of that bucket set so that it doesn't pivot when they reach in to grab it. Okay? That becomes issue number one I've got to deal with, is attaching that to the back of the trap. Now, an easy solution for that is instead of using a 5-gallon bucket, getting a deeper bucket, maybe a 7 or 8-gallon bucket where the depth of the bucket is deeper, which would offset and push the bait further back away from your Conibear trap. Okay, so I got to see if I can find a same diameter trap or a same diameter bucket and see if I can't get that bait further back because I have a deeper bucket that would be harder for them to reach through without getting their head in there. Okay, that's issue number one. Issue number two that I got to take into mind and consider is I've got my sets, my Conibear bucket sets. I've got those set up where they got two stakes going through the loops on the springs. Okay, those two stakes going, or the two tall sticks that I have going through the loops on the springs, like the law book says. I believe, and I hope it's not going to be, but I believe it's going to become a problem. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out a better way to secure my Conibear traps to the ground or wire them off to a tree. Because the problem I think I'm going to run into in heading it off before it happens is if those coons continue to reach in and grab that bait, I am going to get an awful lot of arm catches instead of head catches on these bucket sets. They're going to reach in, they're going to hit the prong feelers, they're going to hit it with their paw, it's going to go off, and it's going to come down on their paw rather than their head. And that's not the intended method on the Conibear traps, okay? Now, when you get a paw catch in a Conibear trap, I'm not so worried about them ringing out and getting out of these traps. I'm more concerned of once they're caught, as with a leg hold, foot hold, DP trap, etc., when they're caught by their leg, they have the ability to back out, move, and potentially go and take off with your trap. Especially if you've got two sticks that are in there that are not real secure sticks. If they back out of the trap and they got that Conibear attached to their paw, they ain't going anywhere really fast. But over the course of 24 hours, or in Michigan, you can check your Conibear traps whenever you feel fit. There's a lot of room for that coon to run off with your trap on its leg, dragging it behind them, and clear a whole lot of distance. And the chances of you finding that Conibear trap again, very, very unlikely. Now, when the DNR find that Conibear trap at some point out in the woods, probably during the off season, am I going to get hit with a ticket for having a trap out there outside of season? I don't know. And these are the things that really concern me now that I believe that they're going in there, reaching in, and it's going to be a paw catch versus a head catch. So I got a little bit of research and a little bit of thinking to do on that. And essentially, I think the probably easiest way to take care of that problem is to take these Conibear bucket sets and make sure that the spring loop on the side, that spring loop, I'll probably take that and wire it securely to a tree. That's probably my easiest method. But hit me in the comments if anybody's ever had a foothold catch or a paw catch on a Conibear trap. I'd like to know what happened after that. Did they run off with your trap? Did they stay there? Did they ring themselves out and you found the trap close? Hit me in the comments and let me know if you guys have ever had a foothold or a paw catch in a Conibear trap. I'd appreciate it. Any advice I can get there. Okay? Now, that's number one. Number two. I got a couple of catches tonight. And the first catch, little story behind it. Okay? I'm walking up to my to the first catch of the night. And when I walked up, I was probably 30, 40 yards away with a whole lot of fog. I couldn't see clearly, but I could hear rustling near where my set is, okay? Now, this set that I'm walking up to is a double long spring Duke 11 foothold, okay? So I knew I had an animal in there. What I didn't expect was to walk up on the set and kick a second animal off the set. There's always a first for everything, and this is definitely a first for me. Okay? The reason I heard so much noise is when I'm walking up to my set, and I knew I had an animal in that trap, I wasn't expecting the secondary animal most likely a fox or a coyote to actually be eating and having dinner with the critter that was in my foothold. Had I known that, had I been prepared for that, had there been no fog and a whole bunch of other scenarios, and I could have seen from a distance, and maybe the daytime, probably wouldn't happen in the daytime, but regardless if a whole bunch of other scenarios happened, I would have walked up on this fox or this coyote as it was eating the possum that was in my trap. You want to talk about an experience, man. That's wild. And it probably will never happen again in my lifetime of trapping. But, wow, what an experience. And the bad part is, the fox or the coyote, whichever it was, and it had to be one of the two, because I could kind of see a silhouette through the fog, but as it was tearing ass and running out of there. But the sad part about the deal is the possum that I caught is a possum I would have released. It is just under a year-old possum. It is little, and I would have released it had I walked up upon it, because it needs a couple more years to grow. And let's face it, guys, $1.50 on a good possum, $1.50 in the fur market on a good possum, you can kind of justify it in a foothold if you're trying to compensate for your gas. If you have it in a foothold and it's a small possum, or any possum in general, you always want to try to release them. Wait till the market gets better. But especially small ones. And if you go and you get one in a conibear set, and it's already dead in a conibear set, you might as well go and make the best of it and do the right thing that all sportsmen should do when you have a possum in a kill trap. It's already dead there. Don't just huck it in the woods, guys. Take it back, show it a little bit of respect, skin it out, get it back into the fur market, and get your $1.50 on it. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say as far as that goes. So, I will show you what happens when a coyote or a fox gets a hold of your catch while it is live in a foothold and decides to have its dinner. Good darn it, man. So, yeah. Again, a small that I would have let go. Crazy wild things happen on the trap line, guys. And, he did do a number on this, man. I mean, he did a heck of a number on this critter, And unfortunately, I did have to dispatch this critter, because when I walked upon it, after that fox or coyote ran off, yeah, even as tore up as this critter was, it was still doing the flip-flop bebop and half-dead dance. Flip-flop bebop, half-dead dance. You can go and quote that one. All right. But yeah, the flip-flop bebop, half-dead dance he was doing, I had to go and put this critter down, unfortunately. And no, I'm not going to be able to save the hide on this one because, there's not a whole lot left of this hide. But this will go back out as bait to one of my other trap sets, so I can wisely use this to the best possible way. Okay? The other catch I had tonight, the following set, and you can see in my video prior to this one that's up on YouTube right now, the video prior to this, I showed you a DP set, a dog-proof coon trap Duke set that I heavily made a visual set on, and I got him with a foothold. And this is a nice sized coon. It's not a jumbo giant by any means, but it's an old warrior. And you can tell when they're an old warrior coon by the way their ears get tore up. They're roughed up pretty good. A lot of times their tails, they're missing half their tails. And they're really, really cool, man. You guys got to show respect to these animals that, especially when they get some age to them. I mean, they've had some rough experiences out in the woods, man. They tangle up with all kinds of critters out there, and they fend for themselves, and they get into fights amongst each other with other coons, and sometimes they get rolled on by fox and coyote. And man, I got a lot of respect for these big, big, old coons, man. They just are the absolute warriors of the woods, and they a lot of times are very, very stubborn. And even trying to dispatch them, man, they do not want to go down. I mean, they just have a drive like I've never seen in any other animal out there to survive. And they're really, really cool. I mean, guys, if you're gonna go and be a trapper, research these animals and research and respect what they are, because the more research you do, the more information you get on them, the easier they are to catch, and the more you can understand their habits, lifestyles, where they live, their habitats, and what their eating processes are, and their hibernation processes, and all that. You get a lot of information that will help you along the way of trapping, but it gives you more of an understanding and a positive outlook on these animals, and it's a really good thing to do, and to have that information, especially because the vast majority of us trappers out there honestly do care about the animals that we are trapping, and we are merely trapping for population control. A little bit comes on top with the cash and the fur market, and that's an added bonus, but the big portion of it is the tradition. It's the being out in the woods. It is the understanding of these animals and having a genuine respect for everything that they are, what they're capable of doing, what their habits and lifestyles are, and just the way that they do their day to day. Take that all into consideration, man. That's a big, big part of being a good sportsman and really, really enjoying this hobby that we have. And the more you know, the better off you're going to be as a trapper, the wiser you will be if you ever get confronted by an anti-hunter, anti-trapper. Instead of just cussing them out, speak calmly and give them some statistics and logic, and let them know that you are a avid sportsman that cares about the wildlife and the populations, and actually have a genuine care for the individual animals as a species, and you know them inside and out. It is an absolutely, absolutely essential thing to being a true, dedicated sportsman. Okay? With that being said, I've only got about, another minute worth of recording time on here. Here's this old warrior. Okay? This old warrior right here. He's nice. He's got a lot of browns in him. He's got a nice brown back to him. He's got, some grays on the sides. And again, half tail. And when we lay these out, I might get rid of that one. When we lay these out, you want to take the legs, if at all possible, and you want to go and spread out your legs if you're going to lay them out overnight. Okay? That way when they stiffen up and rigor mortis sets in, that way it's a whole lot easier for you to go and run your initial money cuts on your critters. Okay? Well, that's it for tonight. I got to let you guys go. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope there's a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that'll sink in with you guys. And best of luck to you. I will have more videos coming very, very soon. Hit subscribe, hit that like, and hit that notification bell so you get an update every time I get this video. And please, please share it to all your friends, family members, and share it on Facebook. Spread the word, guys. Have a good evening.